messed up. You are, got me singing like I'm Yoda. You is, we aren't good company to each other. Narrator of my dreams, make it make sense. On the outside, I don't seem like anything less. Will someone ever tag along for the ride? Will someone ever tag along for the ride? Calm as you are, we listen to your favorite tune in your car. Why try to change me now? Time based, but no time for us. Loud bitch, bad bars. You were scared to get me down. I trust my mama, you're no match for my bad karma. Broken shards of glass on our tongues. I'm far too scary to be what you like. Will someone ever tag along for the ride? Will someone ever tag along for the ride?
Hey, how's it going? As you can see, we've moved on from Camper Island. Happy campers, as we call ourselves. And I'm gonna start working on our actual base location. First things first, we need to build ourselves like a really solid starter base. And starter base in the sense that it's going to actually more be our base of operations for the season. So I want this building to accomplish a few things. It needs to have access to all of like the important crafting blocks and things like that, because I want to be able to be inside of this build anytime I'm prepping for like a future build. I want to be inside of this like base of operations. It's not a huge build. I've toyed around with the design some in creative, so I've got a pretty good idea of what it's going to look like size wise, and it's going to fit right here on this little peninsula. I've started to kind of clear this area out. We've also planted some crops and we've got cows and sheep started. We've got some basic things started, but the biggest thing is I want this building to be like where we kind of always come back to when we start working on the next part of our kind of base expansion. Our base is going to take place way over here in this huge area behind this little knoll here, which is all still wooded and not chopped down, and a bunch of terraforming has to take place. But first things first, we need like a solid base of operations here, or a home base for us to put all of our storage and crafting blocks and all the important stuff, anything we want to keep. You know, unique stuff that we find throughout the season, we want to be able to keep here in our little base. So that's going to go right here on the water. That's going to help us with a few things. The island, the mushroom island in the middle of this giant ocean, and that's kind of where all the trades are going to happen. So if we put our base here, that gives us pretty straightforward access to the island. We will have a nether hub and tunnels eventually, but for now, it's really not that long of a boat ride. It's kind of just past the render distance there, and that's going to give us pretty easy access to that, as well as, you know, our neighbors on either side of us. It'd be nice to be able to kind of ride down the coast real quick and visit people, and then we'll expand our base deeper into the forest here. We've already knocked out a few things. We've got cows, we've got sheep, we've got wheat. You know, you saw we had the little camper island, so we've got our gear done. We're not fully enchanted or anything. Like, these just have nothing enchants on them, and they're about to break, honestly. We found a dog just when we were clearing out this little area right here, and we also built, hold on a second, guess no one's gonna sleep. There we go. And we also went over here and we built a nice little iron farm to get us started. And this thing has been running because I've been AFK a bunch, apparently. I think I emptied it out very recently. Oh god, set me on fire. That's unfortunate. That's why you keep water on you at all times. And also wear your armor, but I don't like to keep mine on when I'm doing these intro sections, so deal with it, I guess. But yeah, we built a little iron farm. It's not that dissimilar to the ones that I put inside of our gatehouses on the old school Let's Play series. I kind of just put a roof on it and left it open so you could see the iron golem spawn. Then you just have your 3 villagers in here with a zombie trapped in the back. Hey, we could poke a little hole actually, see if these guys are doing all right. Looks like everyone's still alive. Our zombie's still back there jumping up and down. Bob's your uncle. It's pretty straightforward, pretty basic iron farm, but this thing is just running because, again, our base of operations is going to be right there. So this thing is just going to be running all the time that we're online, so we should have no issues with iron for this season. Like I said, I just emptied that, but it was full to the point that all of the hoppers going up on the inside were also full of iron, and I just crafted it all up into blocks. Eventually here, we'll probably use that brand new auto crafter and make these kind of auto craft into blocks right at the crafter. One thing that'll let us not have to check it as often, and also it's just kind of cool to use that, and that's how I end up storing them anyway. anyway. I mean, we already have enough iron that we're probably not ever going to need anymore, but if we ever did, that thing's over there making it up for us. And as you can see, we've got a decent little chest monster going here because I brought everything we had on the Happy Campers Island, as well as anything else I've gathered while setting up this area, and I've just started throwing everything into chests. I kind of started messing around with some redstone stuff. I've got, you know, basic plants and food, stone, wood, it's all here. But we need to get our base built so we can get it into the actual storage room. These two chests specifically, actually this chest specifically, this is most of our base. The only thing I'm missing, unfortunately, is actually calcite blocks. I haven't found like a good geode that was kind of not in public land, as I would call it. I don't want to destroy someone else's geode if they're gonna end up using it in the future, so I wouldn't tear that down. So we need to find one geode. I might go for a little swim and try to find some real quick, or maybe we'll do a little bit more strip mining. We do have a kind of rudimentary mine entrance. Again, not dissimilar to what I set up on the old school world. It's just how I like to do them. You have your really long drop. You have like the medium short drop for like iron and coal, and then a bubble elevator that they both could take to shoot you up to the surface. We'll build this up and decorate it more. Honestly, we may just cover this up completely, and I may incorporate the mine entrances right into our base of operations, because I think that could just be cool. And again, I want this to be your one-stop shop for getting stuff done. So, talked about it enough, we've got all the resources. Let's go ahead and get our base built so we can get this season really underway and anchor ourselves in this world. Let's get to it.
On anything. And I'll take care of you along the way. My love, one day at a time, will leave our troubles behind. And you'll take care of me along the way. My love, one day at a time, will leave our troubles behind.
And here it is, our starter base, or as I like to refer to it, our base of operations. It's mostly tough bricks, tough blocks, and then I think it's chiseled tough is one of them, and then I can't remember, it's like polished chisel, or I don't know, there's chiseled tough bricks, and then there's one other variant that is also a chiseled, it might just be chiseled tough. As you can see, we cleaned up our little chest monster here, we've got it all moved into the house. We do not have an interior yet, and we will go look at that, and I've got some stuff to walk you through, but I think I may have planted all this wheat between time lapses. I can't remember. I know I forgot to record the last like 30 minutes, which was just me like moving the stuff and doing touch-ups here out front. And I also did some work in the basement, which I forgot to record, unfortunately, but I'll walk you through all that. The basement is going to be like a key component to our little base of operations here. I'm going to try to put a lot of essential stuff down there, and you'll see that here in a minute. But yeah, I built this little pathway going down here. We'll probably build a little dock for our boats, because as you can see over here, you got Skipper's house there, and I believe you got Pineapple's base is one of these islands. I could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure that's accurate. I think Skipper built these little signposts, which kind of point in the direction of everyone's base, and a kind of a communal nether portal looks like for those two over there. Yeah, we got a nice little walk-up path. We've got easy boat access. Happy Camper Island is over there in that direction, and then the trade district is kind of diagonal that way. Actually, I can just show you on the map. The trade district is up here on the Mushroom Island, and then the Happy Camper Island is kind of straight out east from us. But let's take a walk up here and look inside of our beautiful home. I love this little, like, it's almost got like a lighthouse feel to it. I didn't want to go like straight up lighthouse, but I wanted it to make sense kind of like as a coastal build. So here it is. It's very rustic. I really wanted to use the new tough blocks. Originally, my idea was to go with just stone bricks, but now that we're in 1.21, I just had to use these tough blocks, and man, I love them. It's just this nice, like, I don't know if it's, I think it's like a green and a blue and a gray. I don't know. It gives a little bit more texture than you see with the stone bricks and the stone brick variants. So yeah, no interior yet. This will kind of be our bed. I think we're gonna build like a little room for our bed here. We'll have some furnaces and stuff. We'll have some like easy in, easy out access storage here. A little table for some decorations probably. We'll put some lanterns up around the room to kind of light it up a little better. And then this will kind of be like the epic staircase going up. And then I think I want to put our enchant table up here in the tower because, you know, obviously, who doesn't love a good enchant table at the top of a tower? And then down here in the basement is where all the magic is going to happen. And you'll see that momentarily after I finish describing upstairs. Now, so we did diorite, calcite, just a little bit of calcite. I've only found one geode so far, and it's not the best location, so we've got a little bit of calcite, just enough to kind of texture it up with some more white blocks. Mostly diorite and polished diorite, and then, yeah, We built this little staircase going down here. I need to figure out the spiral staircase going up here so that it goes around our little basement entrance. I went a little long on this, but I didn't want to bump my head. I actually almost want to make this too wide as well, which is not going to work with the shape of the room. So I don't know, it might just be off-centered because it is kind of annoying now that I've gone up and down here 100 times and I was moving my items back and forth. It's a little bit annoying that it's only 1 block wide because like you just miss it and then when you fall, you take a little bit of damage. I guess we'll get feather falling and that won't be a problem, but I've made you wait long enough. The basement. Now, hold yourself. It isn't decorated yet, but I think you'll get a good idea of what we're gonna do with this thing. It's all stone, so don't worry about that, but this is our storage concept. So we've got variety chests kind of thing. So like the skinny end of the chest faces me, right? So we get access to like bunches of 6. And then I made it 2 more deep and then turned these chests. So these will actually turn into like overflow chests in the back for items up front. And that gives us, you know, the most number of items available right to us. And then it also gives us plenty of storage for overflow for things like dirt and stone that we're gonna end up with a lot of. I don't think that I'll do item frames, just we're on a server now, so the more I can do to like reduce entities and stuff, I probably won't go with the item frames because I don't want to be lagging every time I'm down here. And we're gonna build a lot of stuff in this little area. I want to do as much as I can to keep the lag down is what I'm trying to say. And one of the major things we're gonna work on next, which I believe is gonna be part of this little opening I've started to carve out and figure out, it's going to be a decent sized little villager trading hall for all the major necessities. We'll have your farmers for carrots. We'll have a couple toolsmiths so we can get easy gear. And then we're going to have just a huge variety so we can get things like glass and bricks and other, you know, stone variants, things like that that are nice to get from villagers. And then we'll also get probably a couple of the key books. Although the beauty of playing on a server like this is we don't really need to get a librarian for every different type of enchantment because there's probably someone else already doing that and I'd rather just buy them. So, but I do want to be able to get the blocks because if you need like a whole inventory full of glass, it's nice to just have some cartographers you can trade for, and I don't really want to go buy that, especially when you're buying in bulk. It gets a little expensive, so we'll get a lot of the necessities here in the base, and we'll probably buy, like I've already bought a few mending books, and I think I bought like a silk touch book. It's nice having the access to things when you really don't want to create a villager, because how often are you actually buying mending books? Not very often, right? Once you get mending on your gear, unless you have a whoopsie, you're kind of set. So we have storage when you first come down. Obviously that's a big component to our basement, and we can also expand this, which I've thought about. Like, I'm not going to build anything behind these walls, so we could always expand this out further and make a whole nother storage room. If we decide that we need more individual locations, we can make these item specific and then do overflow behind it. So yeah, that's storage. We've got nether portal access here. I think that we will do a nether portal build at some point because I just like to do them and it's fun to have a fancy nether portal. But for now, we're all about utilitarian, making a base of operations that does everything we need it to do. And we're probably going to build a gold farm, and it makes sense to have really easy access to that because we'll be going into it frequently to repair our tools. So we'll access it through here. I've just built a little 3x3 tunnel. These are all slabbed on the floor, so you can't get spawns. I don't know how that guy must have walked all the way up the stairs because there shouldn't be anywhere he can spawn. Anyway, you come down here and you get access to kind of just the normal nether. As a server, we are going to build another hub. Uh-oh, I'm not wearing gold. Hopefully they don't. Oh, jeez. Oh, so as a server, we're going to build another hub at some point and connect everything up. But for now, we just kind of have portals strewn across the landscape. So you got to get down there right in the nether to really get between portals. Honestly, I haven't even traveled in the nether that much. Because of the big ocean between us, I just ride a boat back and forth, usually. So that's what we've got done so far. I think the next thing that I want to work on is getting this spiral staircase done and a little bit of this interior done. And then if I get really ambitious before the next check-in, I won't get all the villagers in there, but I might start building out the villager hall and get an idea of like the shape of that. I need to figure out a way that I can get a zombie down here so I can cure them. And I need to figure out a way that I can access them easy enough to get them in and out of their little spots and fit a lot of them in a small area. We may come back through later and decorate this place, but for now, it's function over form. Oh, we also built a little sugarcane farm. I don't think that I'll be using my elytra very much on this, the same as I don't really use it that much on the old school world, but everyone likes to have sugarcane and TNT can be very useful, so I figured if we build a nice little sugarcane farm in our base early on, I just emptied it. We've gotten more than that, don't worry. But I figured if we get that built right now, It'll just always be running for the entirety of the season when we're at our base, and just over time we'll always have the sugarcane we need. We also need to build a pumpkin farm and a melon farm probably, because we're going to be trading with our villagers, and then we also are going to trade iron most likely with our villagers, but luckily the iron farm has been pumping out iron blocks and iron, so we don't really need to worry about that too much. I think that's it. I think that's everything that we've done up to this point. And now we build out the interior, and we start working on the little villager trading hall. I'll see you in a minute.
Ooh, stretch my back and legs. Well, now what did the younger me become? I make some coffee and a plan, and I decide on oats and eggs. Blow my cares away. Ooh, prepares me for the things that come. Yeah, beautiful morning, keeping me alive when the darkness comes. Ooh, that kind of a morning, it's the natural feeling that will make it through. And I have barely begun moving as I am out through seas unknown. Don't break no promises, sing in a key that your body believes. Ooh, I'm making my way.
So here it is. The interior is mostly finished. We've got our bedroom, probably my least favorite part of the whole house. I wanted it to be secluded because it just feels weird to not have your bed in its own separate area. I think we'll probably switch out some of these trapdoors for like different trapdoors, if that makes sense, and maybe like some oak trapdoors and maybe some jungle wood. Something to give this a little bit more breakup, but it was the easiest way to get a thin wall inside the room and leave room for our bed and some more decorations in the future. We've got some light storage like I talked about. These are just empty chests for now. I figure this will be a good spot for like keepsakes or important items that you want to grab right when you run inside the door. You've got a few furnaces here. If you just want to smelt down some glass real quick or get something knocked out, these are pretty handy. Another chest that's just for quick storage. And for me, my favorite part of probably the whole interior is the staircase. This came out exactly how I pictured it. You know, it's Minecraft, so you can't get a round staircase, but I think this is probably the closest you're gonna get to a spiral staircase. And I love how these supports came out, especially this like archway entrance to the staircase. And then also you have the bordered frame going down to the basement. This really feels like a chunky basement entrance, which I like. Get a little armor stand there for some, you know, future keepsakes as well. We've got barrels everywhere. We've got storage pretty much everywhere up here, and I don't know how much of it we'll use, but I do think it looks nice. The spiral staircase is a little bit precarious, I will give you that. No handrails and a bit of a drop, but you've got your enchant table up here, surrounded by bookshelves. I like to put some chiseled bookshelves in probably on these top ones that aren't actually affecting the enchant table, just to give it a little bit more texture. You got your anvil and your grindstone, so you can kind of, you know, combine stuff, take enchants off and remake them. And then you still got your beautiful view here of the little bay outside of our window. So yeah, that's mostly the interior. The downstairs is still undecorated, but we did do a whole bunch of work between takes here. We've been very busy, and the biggest thing we did was we got our villager trades. So we have a few of the major trades lined up here. We've got farmers, your librarians for like your go-to books. We've got a couple cartographers, mostly for these trial explorer maps, which is the new trial chambers, which is nice. And also being able to sell glass panes is good. That's something that we could end up with a lot of in the future to sell, so it's good to have, but mostly I want to be able to get trial maps whenever I needed them. Oh, we have 5 minutes to finish this recording. The server's gonna restart. And then we did a second one and we didn't get anything on him. Honestly, I could probably just get rid of this guy. He's really kind of useless. I don't see us selling that many glass panes, so we probably don't need the second cartographer. We've then got 2 stonemasons. These guys are mostly good for bricks, if we're being honest, because bricks and clay are kind of a pain in the butt to get, and it'll be nice to be able to just grab a bunch of bricks. We've got our armor reset guys. So this guy sells shovel and pickaxe, which are pretty commonly messed up tools, or tools that we would want a lot of extra of, if that makes sense. Like if we're gonna go on like a really big dig or a really big mining out area, we're gonna want like backup pickaxes so that we don't have to go repair them constantly. So it's nice to be able to grab a bunch of extra ones. This guy sells all 4 of the diamond armors. The enchants on them are whatever, but we've got, you know, plenty of levels and plenty of enchant options available. And then we have this guy who sells sword and axe, which is convenient. Again, we're going to go through a lot of axes, and we'll probably go through a few swords. We're going to want, like, you know, a sweeping edge sword. We're going to want a looting sword. And then he also purchases, I should say, iron ingots. And this guy also purchases iron ingots. So those are good sources of emeralds for us. And then, yeah, we got these guys too, because they buy rotten flesh. And I figure, you know, we always end up with stacks of rotten flesh, even though we're not trying to. And it's nice to be able to buy redstone and lapis. Redstone is pretty readily available now down in like the deeper levels, but lapis can be kind of a pain because it doesn't spawn if you get too deep. So you have to like mine awkwardly in the middle for it. So it's nice to just be able to buy a bunch of lapis when we want to do some enchanting. We've got some enchants figured out. Efficiency 5 was a big one. It took me forever to get efficiency 5 on this guy, but we have that one knocked out, which is good. It's kind of expensive, but you know, you don't have to buy 2 efficiency 4 books and combine them. It's nice to just have the efficiency 5 book right off the bat. You've got sharpness 5, which is good for swords, obviously. And we'll trade these guys up. Hopefully they'll also get some other good books, but for now, those books are important. We got unbreaking 3, and we actually traded this guy up and ended up getting a mending just on accident for 1 emerald. So we're set on unbreaking, mending, and you know, a bunch of the important stuff. Frostwalker will be nice. We're gonna build a really big gold farm at some point. And we're really going to want Frostwalker on our boots because it lets you walk on magma cubes, which is super handy. Feather Falling 3. I wanted Feather Falling 4, but, you know, we'll take what we can get. Just got to combine 2 of those and then you get Feather Falling 4, so it's not too bad. Projectile Protection. We're going to be doing some Trial Chambers, and there's a lot of arrows in Trial Chambers. So Projectile Protection, I think, is going to be pretty handy. Fire Protection is also nice. It reduces the amount of fire ticks you take, which is cool. We made a little temporary map of our location. I think you can lock maps, which I have not done yet, and I need to. So I want to lock our map before, because our base, this is going to be so handy, actually. We might have to build like a better spot for it. This will be really nice to be able to come to and point out what we're working on. So here we are in our little, what do you call it? Base of operations is what I've been calling it. This is our iron farm, and this is where we've been growing spruce trees. So this is nothing. But our base is kind of this chunk right behind us. This is the border up above us to Skipper, and then Slip is way over here somewhere, and then there's someone up here to the side. I can't remember exactly who took the little hole there. Maybe Bison? I'm not sure. But yeah, this is kind of the major area of our base. So it'll be nice to have like a before and after map, and also like a live map so we can come look at it and make plans for the future. I don't think our base, you know, it's not going to be one huge mega build, but the actual area that the builds take up is going to be pretty big, so that'll be handy. And then, what else did I do? Oh, we got a little brewing stand to make some potions to cure the villagers. We did cure a lot of the villagers, I'll show you that here in a second. And we made this little handy thing. So we have a villager breeder over there that dumps villagers underground. And then we set it up so we can just push this little cart. And if we wait a few moments, it should come right back up that ramp with the villager in it. Now that's only gonna work because our villager breeder area down there is absolutely packed full of villagers, but it is pretty handy to just kind of send the cart down here and then it comes right back up with villagers. So if you come down here, you can see we have way too many villagers, and they think they can get out because of this trap door, so they just kind of hug the door. So that cart hits this block and shoots right back up. We come back over here, you can see that we have a zombie trap, which is how we've been curing our villagers, or uncuring them rather. He's kind of stuck behind this trap door here, and we've got a little powered rail. When you power a rail, or when you don't power a rail rather, the cart will always stop on it, so it's nice to just be able to send them up, boom, they stop right here. All we gotta do is open this trap door, Bob gives them a little smack, and then we cure them. That's pretty much that. I think that gets us all caught up to where we are now. Got our nether portal, our map, our storage, our villager traders, we got our iron farm, and I think next episode, we are going to open our first shop in the trading district. And it is nighttime and raining. I think it's time I show you what that one last hallway is in our base of operations. Because we're going to be selling a very special item, I believe, this season. And we've got pretty decent access to it right down here. Just this very small little, really annoying to walk down, way too many stairs hallway. I thought this would be cooler in my brain, but I didn't realize how janky it was when you walk downstairs. Oh, you get a little peek. That's right, a trial chamber, almost directly below our base of operations. And what we're going to be selling is wind charges. So we've actually built these like spawn boxes around the spawners, which let us just jump up here, smack these guys when they spawn, and then we get breeze rods. We actually get a couple things. So we get the breeze rods, but then as you can see, because we blocked this block, it actually spits the key or whatever happens to come out of the actual spawner this way, and it kind of falls down in our little hopper minecarts here and gets sucked into our chest. So we get keys, some food, but the biggest thing is we're gonna make a breeze rod shop. More accurately, probably a wind charge shop, because these things are neat. And if you can get the jump just right, I think these are actually going to be really handy for like traversing stuff. I mean, obviously they're kind of just handy for trial chambers, honestly. There's a lot of like dual level areas in trial chambers, and it's kind of nice. These things can break your fall. They can help you jump up to really high areas. There's a little bit of a learning curve to them because as it is, like if you just do that, it's a pretty decent jump. But if you can jump and then catch the actual wind burst right before you hit the ground, you actually get like a little bit more of a jump, if that makes sense. So like you want to kind of just barely jump off the ground and then throw your wind charge and you get even higher jump. So this is kind of, you know, just clearing the edge, and look, we can make it easily onto the edge. It's not a lot of difference, but it's like a whole extra block. And I think that could be pretty handy for like future like entrances, like secret entrance to a base where you have to wind charge up to it. You do go through them pretty fast, but we can get about, I don't know, 2 stacks of wind charges, or sorry, 2 stacks of breeze rods if we hit up all the spawners in here. And that's enough, I think, for us to keep the store pretty stocked. So yeah, we're gonna open up a wind charge shop, but that is for next episode because we have been grinding. We've been knocking out a lot of stuff, which has been great, but whew, it's been a lot of work. I'm super happy with the progress we've made, and I can't wait to continue to make more. Let's go back up and take one more look at the front of our base of operations. If you made it this far in the episode, consider subscribing. I'd appreciate it. Thanks for sticking around. Have a good one.